Welcome back to New Entry Wrestling Podcast. IAN is who I am. And if you're feeling so high in joy, give me a holla. But since I won't be able to hear it, how about you just like and subscribe? And if you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple, hit a 5-star Frog Splash review and also go follow our IG page, New Entry Wrestling Podcast. Unfortunately, my co-host Ever won't be joining us for this episode. He'll be out due to injury. He was attacked by a wild goose while eating a banana during his walk in the park. Damn. Get well soon, ever the forever. But don't you worry, I will find that goose, brother. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna find that goose. But for now, the show must go on. And on this episode, I'll be talking about WrestleMania XXX. And no, I ain't talking about no dirty film, y'all nasty. I'm talking about WrestleMania 30. And I'm here with my returning guest, Andre the Savage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up,
Ooh,
bro?
yeah.
There you go. Ooh, yeah. What's up, bro? Welcome back. How was your summer? Did you have a great summer?
I got to do a few things. Most going to Six Flags.
Mm,
Didn't get to go to that SmackDown where CM Punk was in Chicago and Solo tried pushing him out, but
right.
did get to go. Enjoy whatever I could of it.
Mm.
Hoping next summer is a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's, bro, my summer last year was fantastic.
It was a
I,
lot more eventful last year.
yeah. And I knew this year, don't get me wrong. I had some great, this year was more, um, how can I put this? Last year I went to Detroit uh with my brother and my siblings, right? For SummerSlam. This year we were
Mm.
supposed to go to Cleveland, didn't work out. Instead, I said, "Hey guys, instead of what if we still hang out and we just go to St. Louis or something, and then we'll go stay at my brother's place, you know?" And everybody was like, "Yeah." We went along because we were trying to because we were supposed to go to Cleveland for SummerSlam. We couldn't get
Mhm.
tickets. And then the next best thing was we still go to Cleveland, but just for the super show, the superstore. We'll go for the store and then we could leave the same day, the same night. We'll just miss SummerSlam and all that. Or if we could get a hotel and then we could watch it there. Obviously, that was plan B. Plan C was go to St. Louis, and that was what we did. And then we just watched SummerSlam back in my brother's place. And that was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun, so relaxing. And it was a great experience. We went to St. Louis. I never gone to St. Louis. I've been wanting to go, and we finally went go see the Ark. And it was that kind of summer this year where we were supposed to, same thing with my other cousins. We were supposed to, there was a lot of activities I was supposed to do this year, but we didn't do those activities, but we still spent time with each other. So it was so basically this was more family time. Last year was the family got together because of the activity. This year was more of a we realize how much fun we are without the activities. So it's like let's go hang out and let's go experience what's out there.
Mm.
And that's what it was. So it was fun. That's what this summer was for me. And it seems it was more for you as well. So that means next summer we're gonna have money and we're gonna be going to all these fun activities.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, it better. It seems like it's been like a cycle. We have to pay attention to that going
I
forward.
just as soon as the cryptos hit $10, I'll be good.
Crypto hits $10. That's crazy, bro. So anything looking forward in the future?
Now right now, just like I said on the previous shows, focusing on going through or that I'm trying to achieve. Been doing a lot more cardio, more
Hmm.
cardio stuff.
How's
I'm
that been
focusing
going
on than weight
along?
training for the time being.
How's the way
Uh,
going on?
Again, I'm not really seeing I'm seeing some results. I'm just not seeing that on the scale just yet. So now I'm just gonna be seeing what I could dial back on that's to help see that through more. Cutting out more carbs and then just focus on just drinking water. Just focus on that
Mm. Yeah, I've been there,
over these
bro.
next few months. Rather just drink that instead of drinking any alcohol or any pop or any juices. Other than coffee, that's about it.
Yeah, I've been there, bro. It sucks because it's like I'm still, even though I reached my goal, but obviously I gained it back, and all that. But I'm still working back and forth as to go back and keep it there. I have to change up my diet. And it's like I'm trying to figure it out. But luckily, I'm at that point where it is possible that I'm at that point where I can eat whatever I want. And I think I said that before, where it's like, oh, I know I could have this, I could have that. Um, I could go to Jersey Mike's and eat two, whatever the biggest size they got in Jersey's Mike. I could eat two of those and be like, I won't gain weight. Somebody else will. I won't,
Hmm.
just for that week, basically. That's all I'm saying. If we're gonna go on the scale for that week, I could eat Jersey Mike's and I won't gain anything. So, but obviously, if it's a constant thing back to back, obviously I will gain weight.
Right.
So, but that's all it is. You just gotta keep finding it. I mean, if you need tips, bro, and advice, I could give you something, and you could always all I will say this about personal trainers. Personal trainers are more good. They're more inspirational, than actual. That's all they are. But like, I would say take their advice and then try to twist it. Like, how can I make this work? It's kind of like professional wrestling. You go in a wrestling ring and they'll teach you the basics, but then you got to find what makes what's going to work for you. Here's the basics, and then you got to do what works for you. So, and also cheat days, what do you want to look forward for that week? So it's like if your diet starts Monday and your cheat days on Saturday, what do you want to look forward on that day, so that way you can to ensure you maintain that calories that you're supposed to stay on, so that way when you do have that cheat day, you don't gain weight, you lose weight.
Well, in my case, my cravings are different. If I try to look forward to something by a certain day, I'm not going to actually enjoy it.
Mm,
It's like with certain restaurants, I have to be craving it in order to enjoy it. Because then once I take a bite out of something, if I bought out from a restaurant, I'm like,
right.
why did I just waste money on this? I could have just had a ham and cheese sandwich and been more happy with that than this,
Hmm.
and I would have saved
True,
money during
true.
that process. So it's more like if whatever I'm craving on that day versus I won't eat pizza till for 2 weeks, and then on that
No, don't go,
2 weeks
don't
two
do
weeks from now,
that.
yeah. So no, I have to be craving it in the moment in order to have that, in order to enjoy that cheat meal.
Right. No, yeah, that makes sense. To be honest, well, here's the thing. I know that now about just eat it. That's what she said. But like at that time when I first started, it was like, no, I have to wait till my cheat day. And it did help. It worked. Don't get me wrong. It did work for me, but it got to a point where you couldn't do that forever. And that's where I found out that's where it's like, oh, that's what people quit. That's why people quit on their diet, because they're like, oh, I can't do this chicken and white rice and broccoli for six months.
No,
They get
that's what
yeah.
that's why I tend to do fasting also throughout the day and throughout the week. So it disciplines me more to not just eat because then if I don't know if I'm eating because I'm hungry
Mm.
or I'm eating because I'm bored or because I was dumb enough to watch something on YouTube where there was food on the damn show, and now I'm craving it.
I've been there, especially with
Like you,
420 days.
I don't know if you know that new show that's been going on for a while. Last Meal,
No, I
where
never heard.
so this podcast dude that's inviting different celebrities to let them know what are their, if this was your last meal to survive on, what would it be? And they just say all their favorite
Mm.
things. They'll take a few bites and stuff out of the food. And then I'm like, okay, now I want that. The dude
It's
the
that
dude from
easy
Hot
for
Ones,
you.
the dude from Hot Ones got invited, right?
Like,
And he's from
okay.
Chicago originally.
Mm,
So his was a Portillo's beef. Um,
damn. That sounds fire.
a,
Hey,
a,
don't be going down the list, bro. Hey, don't, bro, don't.
all the Chicago cuisines is
Yeah,
pretty much what he was
I'll
announcing.
pause the video and then I gotta go down to Portillo's right now.
Or Seth Rollins was even on it. So
Oh
see, it's
wow.
it's it's WWE stream also. Um,
It's that freaking
it was
Rollins.
sometime it was sometime this year, or if not this year, it's probably after that time that Cody Rhodes came back.
Mm.
Um, no, actually, no, I think it was around the time of his injury. So that's what he was doing during his injury, doing all these different shows. And then he shows up because eventually him and Becky also did a Hot Ones together.
Oh, okay.
So Seth shows up, and I forget at times that he was raised by Mexicans, not actually Mexican. So when he said
Wait, he was raised by Mexicans?
yeah, so
What does that mean?
his stepdad,
Oh, okay.
he acknowledges his stepdad more. He acknowledges his stepdad more than his biological father because his stepdad was there for him.
Mm.
So his stepdad's mom took him in, pretty much accepted him as her own blood. And so that's why if you look up his name, he has the name Lopez at the end because
Mm.
he took his stepdad's adopted last name and
Oh, okay.
grew up with Mexican culture in Iowa.
So he's
So
Mufasa, basically.
he can eat
Okay.
elote like a güero and like a Mexican.
Okay.
And yeah, and then he threw in Fidel, and I'm like, what the hell? This guy eats Fidel. Like, oh, that's right. His stepdad's Mexican. That was one of his last meals items. I'm like, Fidel, really? I would have chosen pozole or something.
I'm a menuda kind of guy. I'm a menuda kind of guy. I like that tongue, that lengua. But but continue with your weight loss journey. Don't give up. And like I said, if you ever do need tips or advice or hey, some new ideas, I got you, Especially when you do that 420, bro, you get pretty creative. And you know what? Oh, you know what pissed me off? You know what the one thing I created was the yogurt and putting cereal in it. A week later, it's on Walmart. I got so mad, bro. I was like, damn. I was like, that is messed up. Oh well. At least, I could have been I was one of the inventors. I was just too late in that part. So on this episode, we're gonna be talking about WrestleMania XX and no dirty film. Damn, did you just burp
Oh yeah.
right in my ear too? So, that was dirty. But X WrestleMania XX is not dirty. Ain't no dirty film. It's WrestleMania dirty. Uh, so I'm gonna start off with this first question right here. Batista coming back in 2014 was a big shocker, but was he always the original winner back in the Royal Rumble?
I think he was. I think Triple H and the WWE saw the success he was getting uh, because of that promo that not the promo but the commercial
Guardians?
for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm,
The fact that it was nostalgia music,
right.
that Blue Suede hooked on a feeling commercial.
Oh, dude, that
Uh,
song was
it
fire.
starts with Peter Quill pretending to crank the middle finger
Yes.
at the prison, right?
Right.
And he's getting beaten up, and eventually you just hear ah bah, bah, hooked on a feeling, and then you got your shots of Batista, you have your shots of Zoe Saldana,
Rocket.
you have
Mm,
all the characters, right? So it was just promoted the right way, the right commercial to get you hyped up enough. You already knew who all these different actors were, who were more, I guess, if you could say, if you use wrestling terms for these guys were all a bunch of mid carders in a way. But
yeah. Yeah. I can
they're
see
all
that.
big enough names to make the movie even bigger. That
Yeah.
first movie was the best out of them all. I don't care
For
what you think
sure.
about
I
the
I
other
agree. I agree.
Guardians movies. That one was just done well the whole time, from the commercials to the film to even the deleted scenes if you haven't been watching them on the extended Blu-ray or digital copy. Um, and that's why it got to success to get the other three. So WWE already saw that how successful that was doing, and they say, you know what? Maybe let's bring Batista back, and in the process, we'll promote the movies he's going to be on.
Right.
We'll see if we can work with the studios to get them to be a sponsor for us, and then we'd be a sponsor. So it's like a back scratching back and forth. It would
You
have been the
scratch my
same thing.
back, I
It
scratch
would have been.
yours.
It probably would have been the same thing as the Slim Jim thing for Batista that it was for Randy Savage. So that would have been a beneficial thing. Unfortunately, the fact that they're doing the same crap they're still even doing now, even under Triple H, I don't like it. I don't like it even on AEW. Don't announce the signings. Just let them show up, man. You would have gotten a better reaction for Dave Batista had he been a surprise return instead of announcing him and forcing him into the main event, especially because Daniel Bryan was still on a hype train.
Yeah.
People were still behind Daniel Bryan.
I
That time,
agreed.
the way they were behind CM Punk the year before, the way they were behind Wade Barrett, even if you want to say no, everybody wanted Wade Barrett to win the Money in the Bank, not Jack Swagger.
Even when Daniel Bryan wanted too.
And if it wasn't for the shoulder injury, he would have been the Money in the Bank winner. But that's always what kept Wade from winning the briefcase, the shoulder injuries at the wrong time.
Same thing with Dolph Ziggler, concussions at the wrong time.
Even if you can go back far as Mr. Perfect, that's always what kept him from being the world heavyweight champion. He always got injured at the worst possible timings, and so that's why he was always a mid carder for life. But I think Dave would have had a better reaction if he was not announced. If you had just made him a surprise entrant, you even would have had to hear people boo Ray. Unfortunately, Ray got the heel treatment, even though it was a babyface. But that also, the fact that you kept Daniel Bryan out of the Rumble, that really got the fans to turn on everyone. The only other person they trusted at that point was CM Punk.
And that year, so when they made the announcement, I don't know how you found out, and I don't know if this is like the first time. Yeah, so it was a video package, right? That's how I remember it.
And it's the thing that threw me off is, okay, I've always been thrown off by why Batista uses this, but his belly button tattoo is what he uses as a symbol.
Right.
And that's what they used to hype up. I'm like, why that tattoo, dude? It's got a bunch of other cool tattoos. Why that one?
And
I think it has something to do with the fact that he's Filipino. I think that's what that tattoo is supposed to represent in a way, the sunshine country or something.
It was weird. I get what you mean with the tattoo, but that was that year, that Royal Rumble, I really thought it was either going to be CM Punk or Daniel Bryan. Not saying they're going to win WrestleMania. They're just going to go
win the Rumble.
event, win the Royal Rumble. That's it. That's all we wanted. That's all we thought was going to happen. That's it.
Or at least have Daniel Bryan in the Rumble. I think the fans would have been okay even.
Right.
If what happened in 2015 happened 2014. Yeah, they would have been pissed and salty the fact that Bray Wyatt eliminated him. But in that moment, you could have prolonged the rivalry between Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt before the Shield versus the Wyatt family, or eventually Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. You could have propelled it, but the fact is, we're going to have Daniel Bryan lose to Bray Wyatt and not beat him until Raw or SmackDown in a cage match. You could have just done it at the Rumble, but they were too focused on getting the pay-per-view mainstream because the first pay-per-view on the network was WrestleMania 30.
It was actually Elimination Chamber.
And then you had every single segment about how much the network cost, and signing up now. The whole even the opening segment of WrestleMania was, and for $9.99 You can watch WrestleMania
And that
here.
was all Vince's idea. Vince's idea. Michael Cole said he hated it. JBL said he hated saying 9.99, but Vince wanted them to say it all the damn time.
Yep.
So, but here's let's go on to Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan stated in a interview once that Vince told him at WrestleMania 30 he was gonna face Sheamus. But I believe that I believe that Daniel, sorry, read the question wrong. Daniel Bryan said that the Vince told him at WrestleMania he was going to face Sheamus, and I believe that it was a work. Oh, okay, to see how Daniel Bryan would react. That he was always going to face Triple H at WrestleMania. What's your thoughts on that? I do remember hearing that Daniel Bryan said,
That what I remember was around the time that Punk left. It was stated that Triple H was going to face Punk
mhm,
and Daniel Bryan was going to face Sheamus
which
once
was
again,
weird
once again
for the third
in,
time
in the pre-show
on a pre-show again. That's wild. I thought it was going to be on the actual card this time.
for the U.S. title again.
Wow. That's crazy. And then who had and Dean Ambrose was champion.
So
And
it would have probably been the Wyatts causing him to lose the U.S. title versus the Authority,
mm,
because remember he didn't lose the title until after WrestleMania.
yeah, it was the night after, right?
It was after, I don't know how much longer, but I know it was after WrestleMania so that they could start the rivalry between Evolution and the Shield.
Yeah. Which I felt like it should have happened at WrestleMania. So I
Well,
also think that with the
in order
Wyatt
for that
family,
in order for that to happen, Randy would have had to have dropped the belt.
you could have dropped it at Elimination Chamber.
That's what I'm saying. He would have had
Yeah.
to drop it then.
Yeah. So I don't know. I felt like Daniel Bryan should have been so well, here's the other question. This one, looking back in time, what did you thought was going to be the main event? And do you remember what you were hoping for? For me, I thought the main event was going to be at that time, sorry, not back in 2013, I thought the main event at WrestleMania 30 was going to be Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. But then they announced
At the time, I
that,
thought it was going to be
yeah,
CM Punk because of the way they were building him up.
yeah,
The fact that him and Bryan got off, faced the Wyatts at Survivor Series, and
mm.
they went and abducted Daniel Bryan. So then that left CM Punk alone to fend off the Shield. And then CM Punk was calling out Triple H, calling out the Authority, and
It
they
was
were
a
starting.
weird time
They were
around
turning him.
that
So
time.
I thought they were reigniting the whole thing again. That eventually this time, okay, he's finally gonna get the nod. He's finally gonna get the
Yeah,
WrestleMania moment he should have gotten the year before.
yeah.
Because all you had to do, obviously they needed somebody for Taker to face. Um,
Jericho, Cena,
and
The
I mean,
Rock.
no offense to Y2J, but I
At
could
that
never really,
time,
I could never really see him. It just does for me. It doesn't work for me. Jericho and Taker, it just never
at
would have worked for me.
WrestleMania, the only time I seen it happen was WrestleMania 26 and then 25. 25 and 26, I felt like that could have been those year. Besides Shawn Michaels, I feel like Chris Jericho and Randy Orton were the two possibilities to face the Undertaker at WrestleMania for WrestleMania 25 and 26. Well, Chris Jericho for both year, 25 just Randy Orton. So, but now, well, speaking of Randy Orton, or sorry, not Randy Orton. Speaking of The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar breaking The Undertaker streak was the death of WWE and WrestleMania. Imagine if that was the ending of the show. The match itself was decent. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, surprisingly, for somebody who had a concussion throughout the whole thing, I'm
Yeah.
surprised he was moving the way he was.
Hmm.
Maybe it's just his default settings from having been a wrestler for so long that his body's just responding the way it, like
It
muscle
should.
memory. It's probably just muscle memory at that point.
Yeah.
In order for him to just keep moving without stopping. So I think pretty much a majority of that card I would keep the same way. I would make a few changes, but I think maybe that really should have closed the show. If you were gonna, if their thought was that Brock Lesnar was gonna break the streak from the beginning,
Yeah.
then it should have closed the show, because even if you do give Taker the two more wins or whatever, just so he can get to 25, because they wanted him to get to 25 wins, obviously,
Mm.
you still could have closed that show with 21-1,
Even
and no one else was more believable than Brock.
my only issue with Brock breaking the streak was when the Undertaker came back, he was still the dead man. Because I thought that was the whole point of Brock Lesnar breaking the streak because you're just a man. He broke the gimmick. He ended the gimmick. That's what I thought why he broke Brock Lesnar was the guy. I didn't look at it as like, oh, we're gonna make Brock Lesnar this big star. No, I thought it was besides burying, we can't bury the dead man, because they already did that, and he came back twice, when the biker buried, came back as a dead man, got
Now,
buried again. So
now, if
I
he was
thought that
gonna
was
come
the whole
back,
point.
if he was gonna come back, then that would have been the perfect time for him to start using the uh,
The biker gimmick.
the biker gimmick. But
Yeah. The big evil,
um,
big red, especially for WrestleMania 31.
the theme song, the theme song that he used at WrestleMania Atlanta 27, um, the Johnny Cash song,
Ooh. Ooh, the last outlaw.
that would have been a better entrance for him after losing to Brock,
Mm,
because the song says exactly what he would have said. You destroyed the Phenom, but you can't keep my body down.
yeah. And that would have worked out so much better in the long run. And I get it because they probably maybe because of Bray Wyatt, but like I said, at that time, I really thought it was just to kill the gimmick and then he came
It,
back.
it's a shame they only kept the gimmick because of Bray, and I get it. They wanted Taker to have his win back,
Hmm.
but then all you did is the same thing that John Cena did to Bray. You ruined the push. You ruined the momentum. You could have repackaged him from that point on. Same thing with Randy beating
Right.
Bray both times. It just, what was the point of the whole rivalry then?
And the
If you were
well,
if you were just gonna keep making uh or even him dropping the belt to Goldberg, it's like you did all that to make him look weak, because okay, it's a character that's mystical, but that's
yeah.
the point of it. The character is supposed to be a threat, and if you're gonna have him be easily squashed by Goldberg or easily be defeated by Randy, then you're diminishing everybody else that he beat
Hmm.
prior to.
True, true. It and it's just like if you would have brought back the Undertaker. Well, first of all, I understood why Bray Wyatt had to lose because I didn't wasn't feeling the build up. The build up started at Fastlane. It was only like a month build up for Bray Wyatt and the Undertaker. It should have started a long time ago. That build up should have started a long time ago, and it didn't. And then if you would have brought back the you could have brought back the biker version taker at WrestleMania. It would have worked out, especially that year. That year would have worked out. But you know who else I thought would have been a perfect person for Bray Wyatt to face at WrestleMania 31? Sting. Sting should have been the one Bray Wyatt should have faced, not Triple H. Why did Sting came back to represent WCW? He was in TNA. He should have faced he should have faced somebody else. Like there was no need for Sting to face Triple H.
Well, remember, Triple H's 2002 to 2001, the whole point of it was because he wasn't part of the alliance segment, they wanted him to pretty much bury every single part of WCW. Scott Steiner, who was in the worst wrestling shape of his career,
Yeah.
Booker T in the most bogus finish for a match,
Oh, Booker
Kevin
T.
Nash,
Kevin Nash for sure.
Kevin Nash, the way you made him look like freaking Super Shredder. He came back from a quad injury just like Triple H before he won the World Heavyweight title,
Yep.
just to make him look weak to Triple H
And
and
to
Chris Jericho of all people.
yes, thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for bringing it up.
Then to ruin SummerSlam, hyping up Goldberg for nothing, just for him to
Ah,
run it into a sledgehammer that way and lose. Then to easily beat Goldberg with, well, not easily. You needed Kane to do most of the work on Goldberg in order to beat Goldberg,
yeah.
but you snuck in and took the pin. And then lastly, I mean, the one guy he didn't defeat from WCW is He Who Shall Not Be Named. And
Well, they had an earlier rivalry when Benoit first joined. And I'm pretty sure Triple H beat him in a last man standing or no disqualification match, something like that.
I mean, if
In
we
the
go back to
early,
No Mercy 2000, then yeah, he beat him. He beat him
yeah.
no problem. But yeah, he defeated everybody that needed every big name at the time, and all he needed to add to his version of the Infinity Stones is to beat Sting, because he had already beaten every big name from Ric Flair to that mattered. That was still performing.
True. Yeah, because if you really think about it, the it's Sting for WCW, uh, it's Sting, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. Who else would you say? Randy Savage, obviously, Booker T, if you really want to go, from different eras and all that stuff.
I mean, you could throw in
Kevin
Ron Simmons
Nash,
because
Ron Simmons.
rated the Black World Champion before the WWF.
So as it's just well, here's another one. Speaking of Triple H, what would the outcome be if Triple H versus Batista versus Randy Orton would have took place at WrestleMania? If we're really going to talk about stroking Triple H's ego, he could have easily just said, I'm beating Daniel Bryan and we're going to put myself in the main event and we're going to have all three out of four members of Evolution main event WrestleMania. What will be the outcome if that really did happen?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about Triple H's ego, then he would be an ass and then eventually say, before the bell rings, I have a special guest referee, and out comes Nate
Nate.
to
Damn.
really add salt to the wound, and then he would just uh then
Damn. Actually, that'd be
he would
dope.
find a way to screw them both over and make himself the world heavyweight champion.
I don't think he'll go that far. I think he'll go because of Batista's return for the movie's Guardians. I think that's where he'll probably put Batista over. And he'll probably put, yeah, because Batista needs to, oh, well, damn, Triple H needs to get a win over Batista. I don't even think he ever got his win back over Batista until years later. So,
In one of the dumbest street fights at WrestleMania ever.
oh, hold on, bro. I actually enjoyed that no holds bar match. Batista's last match ever. I'm a huge Batista fan. That was a great match. Was it a 5-star match? No, it wasn't, but it was a solid last match. for Batista in my books. But I will say at WrestleMania 30, going back to what we kind of said, Batista's return should have been a surprise entry, especially since Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble. You could have had Batista, and then we would have forgotten about Daniel Bryan. And then we would have wanted Batista to win the Royal Rumble, and then we would have wanted Batista versus CM Punk at WrestleMania.
And then to
That's it.
piss off, and then to piss off the fans more, they kept screwing with them by saying, "Hey, what if Brock Lesnar decides to take an event from you? What if Brock Lesnar decides to face Randy Orton?" And like the
Mm,
fans were behind. Well, okay, well, if we can't have that, we'll take that. We'll take Brock Lesnar versus Randy. Oh, what if Brock Lesnar take Batista away from me? All right, we'll settle for that. We never got
yeah.
to see it at live. We'll take that. Or what if Brock Lesnar decides to take Triple H again to Suplex City? We'll stop right there. We've seen that already one too many times. That's enough.
Yeah, that to 2014 was a weird time because it was just like I also think they should never put the titles together. I get it because of ticket sales and stuff like that. But if you would have just given CM Punk time off after his match with Brock Lesnar and would have and had him return at the Royal Rumble. And once again, we could have had Batista and CM Punk return that year. And we would have forgotten about Daniel Bryan. And then CM Punk, once again, he could have won. Main event WrestleMania. He didn't have to beat Randy Orton, or he could have beaten Randy Orton. Batista could have won it and then, won the Royal Rumble, and then he could have faced CM Punk at the Elimination Chamber. And then if CM Punk beats Batista, he gets added to the match. Or same thing, CM Triple H versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Winner gets added to the match. But I truly believe either CM Punk, Batista should have been the guy, but the thing is they did it wrong. And then Daniel Bryan, regardless, I feel like he should have faced Triple H or Randy Orton at WrestleMania if for the title. But singles match should have been Triple H. And then Sheamus should have faced Christian because they had this great feud. And I'm thinking, oh, the big blowout is going to be at WrestleMania. And it wasn't.
No, they just threw them both into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, they did all that hard work for nothing. All that hard work for nothing. And it should have been, the blowout should have been at WrestleMania. So that I just never really understood certain things, and that 2024 or 2014 was just like it was just a weird time. And and plus with the WWE Network, they're trying a lot of new experience. They're trying to go with times were changing a lot. That's when the word trending was coming around. People are like, "What's trending?" You have to keep up with the trend, and that's what WWE was trying to do, keep up with
And,
technology and
and
stuff like
then they
that.
started getting the whole WWE Universe thing. Started
Going,
keep getting
yeah.
everything every time. Oh, the WWE Universe, yeah. Just call them the
The,
fans, man. Just say they're fans. That's it.
well, because that's what it was in Vince's eyes. It was the WWE universe. He was just a crazy person at that time. But now looking back, it's like you don't really realize how crazy that dude was. It's like, oh, everything makes sense back then now.
And now that documentary is gonna be coming out too.
Ooh, that's gonna be a fun one. So, well, any last thoughts before we move on?
Um, like I said, that card was pretty much good. I would have done a few changes to the whole WrestleMania thing. Not too
I
many.
would.
I think it opened up the right way. You had,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
if only you could have had somebody that was kind of in between. Maybe Shawn Michaels should have been instead of Austin, because you were, or somebody from that new era of wrestling. You had Hogan, who pretty much opened up WrestleMania.
Yep.
You needed somebody. If only Bret, even Bret Hart could have, You could have
Oh
convinced him to do that
yeah.
segment.
Bret Hart was he was
Austin,
there. He was there. Bret Hart was
yeah,
there, right? He was
we
backstage.
hope. Bret Hart was still part of the alumni at that time, so you could have had Hart, Austin, and as much as and I'm a bigger fan of The Rock. Why? Because he was getting even more followers. All his
Yeah.
involvement with all the Fast and Furious movies. The fact that he was making a lot more movies, you needed that Hollywood vibe coming from him. Aside from Batista, um, really needed the more WrestleMania pioneers. Which, even though Shawn Michaels is called Mr. WrestleMania, Brett was pretty much carrying the manias
True.
in
True.
Hogan's absence. Austin was carrying WrestleManias, even though most of them were with Rock and whoever else. He was still he was the torchbearer at the moment. So
Yeah.
you should have really had it between Brett and Austin. Throw the Rock in just for more entertainment.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do think it opened up the right way. You got the fans excited because you brought you brought these three icons from that time all together. You got Hogan to be an idiot and fumbling about which damn dome he was in.
Superdome. Superdome. What stadium were they in?
It was a Superdome.
Superdome. But
It
he
was
he said
he kept saying
Superdome.
the Pontiac Silverdome,
Pontiac Silverdome. Funny dude.
and that's not even a Super anymore. Now it's the stupid Mercedes Benz
Oh
arena.
yeah.
Arena. That's not an arena. It's a dome.
It's a dome.
An arena is 20,000 people.
Damn. Hmm.
Um,
No, I agree with you on that.
the tag team, I would have put Cody and Goldust back in. Not the random. Not keep the luchador in. Keep obviously the Usos in. Throw TMV in. They could have had their first WrestleMania moment, even if they were going to be jobbers before they became the Outcast. You could have had a decent moment, man. After all the work that they're doing and putting everybody, I think it would have been better to have the 3MB representing. Could have kept that whole rivalry that was going on between those 3MB and those, and then yeah, keep Goldust and for the whole Stardust thing because I mean they held the tag titles for as long as they did.
Right.
They've been being on the Battle Royal pre-show. Um, yeah, that would have been one of my changes. What I've done is I would have convinced if I could I would have convinced Punk to go through with the rivalry with Triple H just because
You're gonna
I
get
think
your
the
win
rest
back.
that and I still think as long as Daniel Bryan was going to win the title, it's going to still stay the same way. You were still going to have the Shield versus Evolution.
Mhm.
Daniel careless. You were still going to have the injury that forced him to drop the title, and that
Yeah.
would have inserted Punk
To take his
into the world
spot.
title picture before Cena,
Or Cena
which you
may
could.
or maybe Cena would have not been champion because remember SummerSlam was supposed to be Daniel Bryan versus Punk. Or sorry,
Mhm.
Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. And then we could have gotten Brock Lesnar versus Punk. And then either Punk could have won at SummerSlam, retaining the titles, but then at the next pay-per-view, he could have dropped it to Brock Lesnar. Or he could have, or if Brock was okay dropping the title to Brock
Now,
Lesnar at SummerSlam.
now with Bryan being injured, obviously that changed everything. So that means
Yeah.
first Seth Rollins to be the Money in the Bank winner. That forced the Shield to break up. That forced all these other things that happened a year later. As long
Yeah.
as as long as you kept Punk in, you could have kept Punk till the end of his. Have him drop the belt, and then figure out if he's going to resign or see what he's going to afterwards. Then you could have started continuing with the next series of events. Um, so again, I would have done that with Punk, and then the other change I would have made is I would have put regardless of the world title, I would have put the Taker loss at the world championship before then,
Mm.
and put Wyatt over. There was no reason for him to have dropped the win to Cena. Cena did not need it.
Uh,
He could have taken a
It, it,
loss
it
at that
was
point. Yeah.
it was the story about Cena's legacy that's what made it. If you would have taken that storyline away and just focused more about the feud, or just could have been something similar to the Daniel Bryan, where it's like, I want you to join the Wyatt family. I want you to turn heel. It was, if it would have been more on that, where it's like, hey, Cena, if I beat you at, you have to join the Wyatt family or something. That, I don't know, maybe not that part, because it had to be a good reason for Bray Wyatt to win, and the rivalry Cena was fighting for his legacy basically, and that's why
Yeah,
he
but
needed
he
to
but he
win.
came off as an ass saying change
Yeah,
comes through me. Like who the fuck are you to say that change comes through you? You
yeah,
just by you cutting that promo, by him cutting that promo, that made him look as much of an asshole as decided not to put the Nexus over.
yeah,
That to me, that didn't make him sound passionate. It made him sound like a Hogan politician. I decide who gets to be in the main event. I decide who I get to put over. I just that's when he that those are the words I'm hearing.
right.
And for him to do that, that's exactly why it pissed me off. When he decided, oh, I need this win more than Bray Wyatt does. Like, no, dude, come on. This guy came with a new character that wasn't necessarily mystical. It wasn't that until they started trying to make it that.
Yeah,
All he was this
creepy guy, goosebumps. That's all it was.
typical a
A
southern
raven.
character. If you, I don't know if you remember King of the Hill.
No, the show. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so there's a time where Bill Dauterive goes to his family in the South,
Hmm.
and he noted, and the hills are pointing out the creeping that is the South because of all the
The voodoo stuff.
well, not so much the voodoo stuff, more of the
I know what you mean.
the sodomy
Okay, that's
within family.
okay.
But it's that whole cringiness. That's what
That's
Bray
what it.
Wyatt.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was behind Bray Wyatt. Without that specific sodomy, that was the persona
Mm,
of the southern cringiness. But at the same time, he was using it as a to let you know how much of a threat he was with
mm,
his family, even. So after him losing to Cena, beating Cena and the family, oh, I'm releasing you now. Why, man? You could have kept the whole Wyatt family thing going for a while. You could have, if done the right way, you could have avoided having Shield versus the Wyatts at Elimination Chamber. Let the rivalry between the Wyatts and Daniel Bryan continue into Elimination Chamber. Let him win at Elimination Chamber. Let face whoever again that year, and then after the Cena match, start to tease while CM Punk is still here, while he chased after the world title after Bryan gets injured.
yeah.
Now is the moment to build a Shield versus the Wyatt because on both teams. Bray Wyatt just beat Cena at WrestleMania. Cena gets his win eventually, fine. But now because of his win back, now it makes Cena credible for the World Championship in that eventual Money in the Bank pay per view with all you don't have Roman Reigns in the match anymore because Roman's still part of the Shield because he
Yeah.
just got done with this rival and now he's moving on to the Wyatts. That the Authority are sticking on to. That's Plan B at that moment to the Shield, the Wyatts. Eventually, Plan C is taking Seth away from them. But in the
Mm.
meantime, you're teasing what happened at Elimination Chamber ways down the road through Bray. The same way Bray was trying to pull Xavier Woods from the New Day, you could start building that with the Shield.
Wasn't that? I think the
You
New
start
Day
pulling
was created that year as well, right? Or I think they
after that
were.
year. At the end of the year, yeah.
At that, I think they were a team that year, but they weren't considered as New Day yet until a year later, or that later that year. They were a team.
It was
They
at
were
the end of the
doing,
year
yeah, yeah. They were doing
because
house
it
shows
was
at that
after
time.
it was after Big E lost the IC title,
Mm.
losing to Rusev.
Oh
So
yeah, he was
that's
still
when
I also Xavier Woods was probably with just a with Kofi then. Unless they weren't
yeah.
teaming up. Or how was it? I think Big E and Kofi started teaming up
So
first,
so
and
Biggie wins.
Xavier Woods was a
Biggie wins the IC
manager.
after Biggie leaves Dolph. He becomes the IC champion.
Yeah.
Then he has the title for a while until he drops it. And then he challenges Rusev for the U.S. title and
Hmm.
loses multiple times. After that, it's Mark Henry and Big Show going back and forth as to who faces Rusev. In
Hmm.
time, Biggie starts partnering with Kofi and
Okay.
start losing and losing and losing. Then that's when Xavier Woods comes and says, "I'm getting sick and tired of this."
Oh yeah. I remember that. Okay.
But what I was saying is the way that Bray was trying to separate Kofi, like kind of put him in a trance
Yeah.
from Day. That's what you could have done with Seth, and then that starts the whole imploding. Then eventually Bray could say, "You know what? I've had you long enough. Now it's time. Now it's your own." Because
Yeah.
they've accomplished so much as a team that
Yeah.
now they
Yeah.
can go off and be
Ooh,
a
I like
tag
that.
team.
I like that. See.
See, because in that moment, if you book it all that way, you're investing in the new breed. You're investing in the next legacy team. And again, if Punk ends up leaving, okay, fine. Now it's open doors for it's open doors for Dean Ambrose. Now it's open doors for Roman. Now it's open doors for Bray Wyatt because you've built and you've created and you've invested into these guys that are gonna be future main eventers. Instead of
Yeah.
just forcing it that way, just because oh well somebody got injured, somebody left, you
Yeah.
could have done a lot more long term booking afterwards
Yeah.
instead of just kind of like the short.
I will agree with there were so many guys with like the Brotherhoods, Goldust and Cody Rhodes. Why were they part of the Battle Royal? There were so many guys in that Battle Royal that could have been in like actual matches at WrestleMania, but for some reason they weren't. And I will say it's pretty messed up that I feel like the reason why John Cena won at WrestleMania is because of Brock Lesnar, you know? I think that's the reason, but I felt like then if that was gonna be the case, then the match on that card should have been reversed then. We should have gotten The Undertaker and Brock, then Cena, because at least that way would have been like, all right. I mean, we still would have been bummed out, but for the cheers of for the Cena fans, at least it would have brought us back up, you know. But because and then after that, Cena defeats yeah, Bray Wyatt got his win back, but in the worst match ever out of the three matches they had together. And then he buries him at Payback in the last man standing match where it's like, bro, you got your win at WrestleMania. Why did you have to beat him in this rivalry? You had to beat if you needed this win in the rivalry, then you should have had him lose. Or sorry, you should have lost to him at WrestleMania. Like I never I was just like I felt like if the rivalry starts at WrestleMania, whoever wins at WrestleMania, that person loses the rivalry. I feel like that's how it should be. So, but all right. Well, I want to take this time to remind everyone IAN is who I am, and please click and like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple, hit that follow button and a 5-star review. All the links in the bio. You're listening to New Entry Wrestling Podcast. Now let's get back to this episode. So this part of the show will be discussing what matches should have took place at WrestleMania Fantasy Booking Remix, baby. Let's get it. I got my list right here. Andre, I hope you agree with my list. Um, Here's my list. I updated my list. So for the kickoff show, I got Sheamus versus Christian, and then I got a little gimmick match called the Ultimate Warrior Battle Royal. Instead of Andre the Giant, I call the Ultimate Warrior Battle Royal because it's like you brought back the Ultimate Warrior. You made this whole big hype. And I think the year before he was the cover of a video game. wasn't he? Or was it that
Yep.
year? So yeah, it was the year before, right? So I feel like why would
Yeah,
you bring
because
back
that year's
Andre the
cover
Giant?
because that year's cover they even did a whole banner after he won the title. They kind of mocked him for it, Stephanie and Triple H, during though with the whole authority about how he was the cover of the next 2K pay per view, the
Mm.
next 2K download of the video games.
Dude, he should have been the guy facing Triple H at WrestleMania. The feud with that, the build-up for that, Ultimate Warrior coming back. Triple H should have been the one saying, no, I don't want him back. After what he did to me at WrestleMania 12, why would I want him back? That could
Well,
have been a
I
build-up
mean,
right there. That could have been a match right there.
couldn't say. Do you really think that would have been the best thing?
No, but
I
I
mean,
know it couldn't, but
I think there was a joke about that. I don't know if it was Family Guy or some show or Futurama where they said where Rick dies on the way to the ring while doing his entrance. So I think that kind of scenario came to fruition. If considering what happened the next day, if Warrior and Triple H would have that match, they would. What do we do? Go to black screen on the launch of the network at WrestleMania. Like,
on the
oh
on the
damn!
second premiere of the WWE Network, something tragic
For only 99,
happened.
you can stand by.
Oh man, that would have R.I.P. to Ultimate Warrior though. But in a healthy, let's just say in a healthy note, would you think that would be something interesting? I think storyline and healthy, no bullshit, no gimmicks. If this like if they were able to work out a deal and Ultimate Warrior was like, yeah, I could go. I got one more in me. Triple H says, regardless, I'll put you over or you got to lay down for me. Whatever the case is, do you think would be best for business if the Ultimate Warrior and Triple H would have faced each other?
Yeah, and I think it would have been this way: Triple H and him shake hands, acknowledge. Triple H low blows him, hits
Pedigree.
him with the sledgehammer, the DX crotch chop, then does the pedigree, and then he's just posing and posing and posing and posing, and he turns around to the Warrior clothesline and then the splash.
Mm. Yeah, I mean,
But I
well, how
noticed I
other
didn't
way
say
would it
pin.
go? Oh, damn, my bad.
I thought it was a pin.
My bad. Damn, he kicks out. He kicks out. Woo! Snap. But let me go on with the rest of my card right here. So here's my lineup for WrestleMania 30. All right. Kickoff show. Sheamus versus Christian. And then I got the Ultimate Warrior Battle Royal. On the main card, I got Bray Wyatt versus Batista. I got the WWE Divas Championship, AJ Lee defending the title against my returning, the Queen, the OG, Michelle McCool. All right. I also got the WWE Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus the Brotherhood, Goldust and Cody Rhodes versus the Shield, Seth freaking Rollins and Roman Reigns. And then I got the WWE United States Championship match, Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. And then I got the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. I got Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. And then in my main event, I got Randy Orton versus CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. Obviously, the Triple H versus Daniel Bryan winner gets added to the match in the main event because CM Punk should have won the Royal Rumble. I felt like after he lost to Brock Lesnar, he should have taken the time off. If he was going to continue working, and feuding with CM Punk, then feuding with Paul Heyman, then Punk should have just defeated Brock Lesnar.
Um, Mine would be The tag title open up, as I mentioned, I would have put 3MB and I would have put 3MB contender since Cesaro is going to win the trophy. I still have him winning the trophy and eventually going on to either win back the IC title at some point or the US title way
Ooh,
road.
I like that.
And again, Goldust and Cody because it was for so long. Before you resort Cody to Stardust, it'd be good to still have him as um, Cody Rhodes or as the Rhodes brothers if that's what they're going to be. Um, my Divas Championship, my returning Diva would actually be Lee, because that's
Oh.
who AJ was a fan of, and
Oh.
it was AJ's what AJ was to Bailey. So
Do you know? So the
uh,
reason why I say Michelle McCool is because, well, I love Michelle McCool, but it was because AJ Lee was feuding with Vicky Guerrero at that time, and she put her in that 6-way,
well, if that
battle
was the case,
royal.
you also could have put Layla because Layla was was cool with Vicky.
It
So
could have been Lay Cool. It could have been a 2-on-1 match instead.
as far as the next match, would have done the Shield in a gauntlet with all the jobbers. And Kane is the special ring enforcer. So you would have had the New Age Outlaws. You would have had
Mm,
everybody that was in everybody, but just the heels from the Battle Royal that were in it earlier. So
right.
it gives everybody more payday time. It gives them everybody not just a pre-show moment, but you get people for being on the main card.
And also
So
it
and
gets them their entrance music being played.
yeah. I still have, as I mentioned, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt with Wyatt family nearby. Bray Wyatt win clean.
Yeah,
Um,
it makes
then my
sense.
then this match was gonna be CM Punk versus Triple H. If CM Punk wins, he into the Battle Royal or the Fatal Four Way. So
Also,
regardless if he won, at least it gets CM Punk that
that main
spot.
event, yeah, it gives them that
And
spot.
then, uh, I was gonna say, I still have him in the main event. And then still keep Brock versus Undertaker the same. Not knowing that there was a concussion going on, I just thought that he was going to put him over.
Right.
Um, but with had I not the Taker was not concussed, I would have said the way he walked out of WrestleMania 37 or whichever one in
27.
Orlando.
Oh,
No,
33.
Orlando. Okay, so
33.
WrestleMania 30. The way he left WrestleMania 33 is how he should have left WrestleMania 30.
Let me
Because that
say,
was the end.
can I
Because that
say
was the end
this?
of the streak.
Yeah, can I say this? I would have told Vince. I would have told Vince that if you want to break the streak, like you said, you got to do it in a way like WrestleMania 33. You have to let it know that the streak is broken.
Or the other way you could have done it also was because he was defeated,
Mhm.
he was left broken. Leave him broken in the ring, have the come in and carry his carcass out.
That's what I was gonna say. Those Goonies, I don't know what they're called. Those guys could have
Druids.
come out. Those Drews could have come out and carried him away. If you really want to break the streak, you
Like
should have done it right.
the way the souls were
Yeah.
at WrestleMania 29 that he was walking through that is walking through them, all the souls that he had already conquered at previous WrestleManias, as or the Druids could have been who carried his body, his motionless body,
Mm.
out of the arena to really you know dude that
Yeah.
had that face that
Right.
would have been me.
That the whole if he would have done that, it would have been perfect. And also, but the more importantly thing, I would have told Vince, if you're gonna have Taker break the streak or lose his streak, you have to end the dead man gimmick. You can't bring it back. If you're gonna end the streak, you can't bring back the dead man gimmick. You can't. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna be the same no more. He has to. If you want to break the streak, you have to end the gimmick, or continue with the streak, and then you continue with the gimmick. Because ever since then, ever since that WrestleMania streak ended, it was just like Taker ain't the same no more, bro.
It's the way I felt about Goldberg squashing the Fiend.
Yeah.
That's why I said you did all that. You had him beat Brian the way he did. You had him beat Miz the way he did. You had him beat Seth the way he did, only to be beaten by Goldberg in less than 10 minutes.
And it was Goldberg's idea too.
Yep.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. WrestleMania booking. But I like your lineup. I like your lineup card. Wait, what's your main event?
Oh, remember the main event is Undertaker versus Brock.
Oh, what was the world title then?
It was the Fatal Four Way in the event that CM Punk beats Triple H.
Oh, so it's still the same people in the triple threat then.
Yep.
Oh, it's still the same guys. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Because the fans were going to still try to get Daniel Bryan in the pay per view.
Mhm.
Fans in Chicago was going to hijack the show, not just for CM Punk, but for Daniel Bryan.
And then that year could have been a perfect year to. My thing was, why did Vince thought WrestleMania 30 needed to be a singles match? I never understood where he thought WrestleMania 16 needed to be a fatal four-way match with all the Vince McMahons in the corner, but yet WrestleMania 30 at that time he thought only two men can main event this WrestleMania pay-per-view. It shouldn't be a
Well,
triple
I mean,
threat. It shouldn't be a fatal four-way. And then obviously it ended up with being a triple threat, but it was like it should have been a
well
triple threat in the
now
first
that you,
place.
now that you didn't have two world championship options like you did at WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania is one on one
True.
and two triple threats.
True. But WrestleMania 30 at that time, Vince should have been like WrestleMania 30 is going to be a triple threat or fatal four-way. I have too many top guys. Better yet, if you have too many top guys, then why did you merge both titles? So I feel like because we could have had Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan should have never faced Randy Orton at Night of Champions. Triple H should have been like, nope, back of the line, you B plus player, you know. And then he could have won at the Royal Rumble, or he could have won number one contender at Mania, whatever. Um, and CM Punk should have faced John Cena at WrestleMania 30 for the World Heavyweight title. So at least he would have gotten his moment, and at least Punk taking the title away from Cena would have been more, he would help make him feel more of a main eventer than a mid-card world champion. So, but all right, well, before we go, it's time for Would You Rather guest commentary with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Which match you going to commentary? Here's the first one: The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25, or Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 35. Which one are you going to do guest commentary with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee?
Kofi.
Kofi and Daniel Bryan. Ooh, nice pick. I would do the same one as well, to be honest. Here's another one: Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, or Daniel Bryan versus Batista versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 30.
A triple threat.
Ooh, nice, nice. I was there for the WrestleMania 40. I'm gonna keep that one. I'm gonna keep that one. Here's another one. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24, or The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 30. Damn.
Brian, I want to hear Pat McAfee's reaction to the same way he reacts to this is a big mother.
Yo. Yeah, I think honestly I would be speechless, but Pat McAfee, he will go wild. I'll probably be laughing. I don't even think I'll be in shock. So I'm gonna go with that one
I
as
don't I don't know
well.
what would be I don't know what would be funnier. Pat McAfee's reaction or that black you saw at the end of the match. Like,
Nope, Pat McAfee reacting to that guy. And then that guy would be on Pat McAfee's show. And then that guy would be famous. Unless he already is. I'm pretty sure he already is. So here's the last one. And you're gonna like this one. Goldberg versus The Fiend Super Showdown 2020 or DX versus the Brother of Destruction Crown Jewels
oh
2018.
damn, why don't you just throw Undertaker versus Goldberg in there while you're at it, man? Damn.
Which one? The Undertaker who?
It's like which of the what two shitty matches do I want to have Pat McAfee
Yeah, I mean
crap or the
exactly.
crappier one? Damn.
Which one do you want a commentary with? Which one do you're sitting with Michael Cole and Pat
The
McAfee.
Wyatt so the DX one sucked, and I just want to hear Pat McAfee say, "That's it.
That's it.
What the hell?
So basically,
Came all the way down here for this? I missed the Super Bowl for
bro, facts. Facts. So basically, do you want to sit down with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee for, let's say, a time frame of 10 minutes or 40 minutes? Which main event? Basically, the Goldberg versus the Fiend. I don't, oh my gosh, bro. I don't, to be honest, here's the thing. Even though the match sucks, but to be in to experience the entrance of DX and the Brother of Destruction with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, I'm gonna go with that one. Even if I gotta go through like 20 minutes of just, bro, take it home, please. You know, I would rather experience that than just like you said. That's it. We went through all this just for that. All right. I would not have a great time. That would be just a bad experience. At least with the DX and Brother Extraction, I'll have a great experience of the entrance. Even though after that, it's just gonna be, oh my gosh, it's just, you know, it's the balance of life. So, all right, well, Andre, thank you for joining me on this episode, bro. Man, you've been a great guest, man. I love having you on here, man. I love those stunning shades that you got on. Are those new ones, man? I can never tell if they're always the same ones or brand
no
new.
same ones.
They're always the same ones. That's crazy, bro. But before we go, I got one more game for you. It's time for a 3-minute steel cage match. But don't worry, this steel cage match will happen in the main event at WrestleMania. Who are you going to go up against? Roman Reigns, Shawn Michaels, or The Undertaker? Remember, Freak Show, you're locked in for 3 minutes and you're not going nowhere, brother. So, Andre, who are you going to be locked in with? Roman Reigns, Shawn Michaels, or The Undertaker in the main event at WrestleMania inside a steel cage match? Do, 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 do. Andre the Savage got a smile on his face. Looks like
Roman,
I knew it. He wants to step in the ring with the big hunk, Roman Reigns. Woo!
the
I,
what?
what? Big hunk, Roman Reigns. You don't think he's a hunk? Andre's blushing right now. You don't think Roman Reigns is sexy? Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. You gotta admit he's a good-looking guy. I see, like, yep, he admits. Andre admits. Look at that. Look at that. I would have been in the ring with the Heartbreak Kid,
But see, well,
Shawn
now we know why
Michaels.
with him.
What was that?
Now we know why you want to be in the ring with him.
With Shawn Michaels? Because he's a sexy
Roman
boy.
Reigns over here talking.
Me, Roman Reigns? Yeah, he's sexy. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that I think Roman Reigns is sexy. That's not a secret. So that I wish I had his act. No, Roman Reigns doesn't have abs. Does he have abs? I don't pay attention. I pay attention to his gorgeous face.
You sure you
Is
don't
that
pay attention? Sounds like you're paying attention pretty good, dude.
I pay attention to his gorgeous face, that hunky face.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
But any last comments before we go and wrap up this WrestleMania 30? This was a interesting episode. I like what we did today. So I got to know a little bit more things I didn't knew about WrestleMania 30, to be honest. And also it felt great to vent about that stuff that it's just like, oh my gosh, bro. 10 years of just like, bro, why was that just so bad booking? Why couldn't we just get what we got? Like, what was just like, just have CM Punk, give CM Punk his time off, have him come back at the Royal Rumble. I just don't understand why, Vince hated him so much. I mean, I get it. He was probably difficult to work with, but still, it's just like, bro, he's asking for time off. Just give the guy the time off. So, but
Yeah.
now he's gone and CM Punk is back. So life is great. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Andre, thanks for coming back on the show. Appreciate everybody and Ever. By the way, I was joking about Ever. Ever's okay. He's fine. Today was just a me and Andre's tag team for WrestleMania 30. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Like and subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple, hit a 5-star Frog Splash review. And also go follow us on IG, New Entry Wrestling Podcast. Until next time, we are out. Doo-doo-doo.